joining Community, we have Dr. Lakshmidevi Sreeramareddy. She's an assistant professor at Salem State University in the Department of Computer Science. Thank you so much for being here. Could you please expand on the educational and professional journey that's led you to where you are right now?
Yes, hi Ashi. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm happy to be here to share my journey so that possibly it could inspire other young women in the field. I know we don't see that many in this field, especially computer science, information technology, under the umbrella of computing. We do see few women, even right now, at Salem State University where I work. In my classroom, I barely see, if I have a class size of 20, I probably see one or two or maximum 3 to 4 women, which is really disappointing for me. It's not like this in India. So a lot of where I got my bachelor's degree, we had a lot of women and men. I would say more than half, or at least equal. We were in equal numbers, but in America, I think STEM, technology, mathematics, I believe girls are not given, or I don't know. I see that there is a lot of discrimination or less interest. I don't know if it is parents or it is teachers, but I do see a lot of like less number of women in STEM compared to men. Me and my other colleague, which is we were actually thinking to see how we can bring in a lot of women into computing. We're actually starting that project soon to contact the registrar at Salem State to see how we can bring in a lot of women into the program or major here at Salem State. I know it happens at the high school level, so we need some intervention in there. So to promote, young girls into STEM there. So your field is STEM? Sorry.
Sorry, is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm interested in STEM,
Yeah.
and I have been, and the reason I got started on this project is because I also saw that lack in diversity and women participation in a lot of my STEM courses in high school. And it's not that girls don't want to pursue STEM, it's just from a very young age, the support and sort of the social constraints that are on us has deterred us from following that path. So thank you for starting that program and sharing your insight on that.
Yeah. So we're actually thinking to see, what we can do to bring in a lot of girls into computing field at Salem State. We're in the process of starting the project, but yeah, it's a great project to begin with because we want to see what is. It's a great field. I believe everyone should be there from my personal experience. Anyway, so back to this, I'm really excited about your project. It's going to bring in a lot of awareness for younger people in the field to see what's out there. So I'm currently working as an associate professor in Salem State University, so in computer science department. So I started Salem State in 2015, right after my doctorate. So I was hired as assistant professor, and after 6 years, I got tenured and promoted to associate professor now. So I'm teaching in computer science and IT. So I was hired to develop information technology program. It's a new program in Salem State University. So it took us like 3 years to bring the program up. And then now we have 65 students, new students in the IT program who are really excited, and we are making a lot of changes into the major already. But anyway, so we're really excited about this program. And then now I'm teaching higher level courses in the information technology major, which includes database systems, web systems, human computer interaction, system administration, database administration, and so on and so forth. So yeah, currently we're really excited. So other than teaching, all the faculty in the department are expected to do department level service, which includes committee work and the university work, and obviously research. Research is kind of one of the aspects that will keep us alive. So anyway, so that's what the main responsibility. So we were involved in developing the curriculum, and then obviously getting the students feedback to make changes, improve upon our curriculum. We also consult with industry to see how we can fill in the gaps from academia to industry, because industry with respect to technology, it's ever changing. So it's changing a lot. It's hard to keep up. Academy always stays behind, and industry, a lot of tools, technology, it's always changing, as you know. So what we teach in the curriculum is the fundamentals, and students, once they know fundamental, they will be able to learn the new stuff and then improve upon. So that's our fundamental area. We do work with industry. We explain our program. We also get their feedback and then improve upon. So yeah, that's what I do right now. Um,
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your incredible work. Sort of moving on to like the earlier part of your STEM journey, when did you decide that you wanted to pursue computer science and IT? And was there anyone who had inspired you to go into that field?
Yes, of course. So I'm from India. So in my family, my uncles were already in America when I was in high school. So they inspired us to study. And then obviously they were into STEM and they wanted us to learn the STEM. So my sister started ahead of me, my elder sister, who's also here in America. She started first into STEM field, and then they were our great inspirations because they knew the scope and the job perspective for women. And then again, in India, we have only two paths, right? So you become either engineer or doctor. Back then, well, this was back then. Now you have different fields. So back then, you were either engineer or especially for women. So in STEM technology. So I took science because they suggested us, like our uncles, recommended us to do science in high school. And then after that, so the once you graduate from high school, you have three options. One, you become an engineer, you become a doctor, or you get married. So, so doctor was not my option because I'm scared of needles. So I'm scared of blood and all that. So I'm like, okay, let me do engineering, which I can do. So that's when I started bachelor's of engineering, well, bachelor of information science and engineering in Bangalore. I'm from south part of India, which is Bangalore, Karnataka. So I did that, and then I came to United States to do my master's in computer science, and then I graduated in 2008, and there was a big recession there in 2008. If you're not, I mean, if you know about it or not, but again, there was a historic recession that happened in America, so there were not that many jobs there. So I was working in a consulting firm, and I was learning, I think, Java technology then, and then still there were not opportunities for like 6 months, and then my visa was expiring, so I had to leave the country or start another program of study. So I went for my doctorate then. So I did a doctorate in information technology. Then I graduated, like it took about 5 years for me. Master's was like 3 semesters. I had a assistantship. Luckily, I was able to fund my bachelor's and doctorate without student loans by taking advantage of the graduate assistantship, doctoral assistantship. So during my doctoral degree, we were asked to be a teaching assistant. So meaning you are responsible for teaching a whole course. So that's when I got my inspiration for teaching. That's when I decided this is what I want to do for my career. So yeah, STEM started through my uncles, and then my career started by after starting my doctorate degree in Towson University. Yeah.
Thank
Long answer. Huh?
No, thank you so much for sharing that. And now you're an associate professor at Salem State University. Could you share what like a typical day as a professor looks like for you?
Oh yes. In addition to associate professor role, I'm also a mom with two kids. So it it starts at home. So my day starts usually at 5 o'clock. I have a elder daughter who is 6 years old, and then a small baby who is 8 months. So I know. So my day starts by making like Indian South Indian breakfast, 5 o'clock. Once the breakfast is ready, I wake my daughter up and we give her a bath. So that's Indian tradition. We shower in the morning. Americans do it in the evening. Most of them, I don't know. But anyway, so after she is ready, she takes the school bus at 7:30, and then my baby time next, shower and all that. So then we get ready, and then I usually leave home 9, and I usually back by 4. So at work, so again teaching, right? So after classes, I held office hours is one of the responsibility of the faculty member. For students, and then between classes, so I do some grading, I do some prep work, and then again I have a 8-month baby, so I do pump between classes so that I can feed the baby. So and then there will be meetings also, committee meetings and research meetings also during the day. So the typical like work goes like that. So some classes are primary, and then meetings, and then some preparation and coursework and grading. And then I usually be back by 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's my typical day. So once I'm back here, so again, evening starts. So dinner time, time with the family. And then usually once everybody goes to bed, I wake up an hour to work on my research, or, another class prep or something if I have, and then I go to bed. So that's a typical day. I know.
Such a long day of
Very
work
long day.
and a
That's why Saturday, Sunday, I sleep a little more, so I don't need to wake up at 5.
lot.
But yeah, that's my typical day goes by.
Wow. Yeah, so you do a lot within a day within your profession and also outside at home. Is there anything that, keeps you going and especially, related to your work, what do you enjoy about it and what keeps you going?
So during my work, so my students, and obviously, we get a chance to inspire them, learn the new technology, new skill. So when they smile that they learn new technology and they're able to apply to a given task, that makes me happy. So that's the only thing that's keep me going. So my students, and then outside the technology in class, so the little conversations that we have with the inside the classroom or in a hallway with the students, talk about their life and all that. So the beauty of the this field is that you get to meet so many youngsters, to inspire them to know about their history, and also to see how they uh, we meet during semester 1 and they stay with us hopefully 4 to 5 years, so you can actually see and connect with them, how they are in first semester versus after 4 years how they become. So to witness that change, it's really beautiful. So I give advice on their how to manage their time, emotional side, career side, everything. So that's connecting with younger generation or younger kids, especially if they're international students, so I can relate with well also, because I was an international student back then. So yeah, so little conversations like that. That's the beauty of my work. To be able to connect with the students and then inspire them as much as I could. Yeah.
That's a very beautiful answer. And I think that brings me to my next question as well, which is, have mentorships played a role in your career and, as a mentor now and guiding these students, how do you think, it impacts the way someone's career can go and, inspire them to do what they want to do?
Yeah, so mentorship plays a great role, like crucial role in everyone's life, I believe. Especially for me, starting from my uncles to my PhD doctorate, advisors, everybody, I got help. So I got inspiration from them. I got inspired by my professors when I was a student. I got advice from my thesis or doctoral advisor. She's still great role model for me to see what you can be in this particular field. She is also a woman. So that's why she is my role model. And then being a best professor, inspiration came from my professor when I was a student. So it does play a crucial role in everyone's life. I believe it changes your career path totally differently. So if you have a mentorship, your life path, because you get guidance on what to do, what not to do, and especially like reading, writing, how to approach like social networking, those things you're initially not so confident and comfortable with. So that's what you learn from your mentorship, who can guide you, who believes in you, that you can do what you set your mind to. So it does play crucial role in everyone's life. Yeah, it does changes significantly for the success.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I know we touched upon this question before, which is sort of what you enjoy a lot about your work, and you mentioned your students and being able to guide them and mentor them. What are the hardest parts related about to your work?
So the good part about, well, especially teaching, right? So you get to learn new things. So to be able to be a student forever is one of the benefit of being a professor, right? And then you get opportunities also to travel and collaborate through your research. You can go to conferences, and you'll become a lifelong learner also, right? So the hardest part in there is workload. So we are expected to teach, 4 courses per semester. And in computing and IT, the courses are slightly different in the sense that the framework or the design of our curriculum is not only skill or like a knowledge base you learn, theory, we want them to apply it. So we want them to apply it. So our curriculum is more hands-on. So which means you got to bring in a lot of lab work in there. So when you assign students lab work, meaning something that they learn in the theory or lectures, we want them to be able to apply to a given problem. So for every course, it's more hands-on. That means it adds up a lot of preparation time for a professor, and it also takes in a lot of grading time for a professor. Right. So workload, like balancing that, especially when there, we have assignments every week. Computer science, IT courses are not like a history or other courses. I'm not diminishing them. Each discipline in university has its own role in the society. But what I'm saying, in a computing or a STEM field, you learn a skill, but you should be able to also apply that skill to a given problem. Otherwise, you are not benefiting anything from it. So that's the STEM field, applies for all the STEM fields here as well. So the hardest part is workload, and sometimes you have student challenges, students with disabilities. So we need to accommodate different like if there is a student with learning disability, we want to provide them more options, more extra time on the exams, extra time for the assignments, and also provide them multiple attempts to improve their score. So that's going to bring in a lot of work from your side as a professor, right? So that's one. And then there's also administrative work, like filling up the forms and all that. And another benefit is that you do get a 9 months summer off, which is really cool. So that's one of the beauty of this job. Another hard, not so benefit is less salary. So you should know professors don't earn in a computing field higher salary compared to industry. So I don't know if younger generation are aware of that, but this is a fact. So they should know. So the hardest part is, work is generally higher, and then sometimes you have limited resources. So and then criticism and rejections are also a part of the job, because when you do some research work, you try to publish it, you do get criticism, which is good, so you can improve upon your project in there. So these are some of the challenges that goes with the teaching. Yeah.
Thank you for giving that insight. And I guess um, like for displaying all the benefits and also like some of the downsides and sacrifices to being a professor or being in that part of academia. Could you name some of the highlights of your career? And I know you're currently doing research or, any past project where you felt like it contributed to your field of science or was just a very exciting project for you to work on.
Yeah, a couple of things. So, well, my research started when I was a doctoral student at Towson University. So, my thesis or dissertation was creating a usable and accessible gesture-based password for people with disabilities. Meaning, right now, if you think about passwords, those are called as alphanumeric password, meaning you have a text and a number together to keep it as a password. Obviously, username and password together are used for logging into our computer system, right? So this could be a problem for people with disability, like senior users maybe cannot remember strange alphabets and numbers, so they go for a smaller, shorter password, which is not secure. It can be hackable. So we were bringing in an idea or proposal which includes drawing based. To give you an idea, let me just share this. Okay, so I cannot share the screen. Can you give me sharing ability, please?
It should be, set for you to share now.
Do you see it? What do you see?
Oh my, I see love,
Yeah.
a very interesting design, and I might see a dog or a cow maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So my research is this. So instead of text and a number that we usually right now, which is very popular. So this is a proposal where you could draw your own. You can draw in different language that you only know, and then this has it's beneficial for people with cognitive disabilities and also senior users where it's easier to remember a picture versus random text and numeric. So that's the my project that we did. So I published a lot of articles on that. So I studied how users draw these passwords, senior users with disabilities, and also how does drawing of this password varies on touch screen versus using mouse. So this is one of the great project that does basically, it does have a lot of drawbacks, which I'm trying to improve upon by using advanced technologies. This is one of the project, and then we also did a project to improve student um, active learning in the classroom using Finch robots. So in our Java programming one classes, we introduced Finch robots. It's have them program them so that they actually learn programming these devices like robotics and all that. Just like an initial one, and then we also did project which basically creating our own customized learning platform so that we can customize our own assignments and then give them feedback right then and there. Because if students are coding a problem and they get a feedback right away, and we also incorporated AI tool to see how they can improve their programming skills, so you give the feedback in real time. So that's one of the project that we did. And obviously me and other colleagues, we did the STEM women in data science event. We invite people across like women in STEM to come and talk to us and inspire our graduates also. So that was one of the projects also we did. So yeah.
Wow, those are many incredible projects. And sort of going back to like your main line of work in computer science and IT, what are some of the most exciting scientific advances that you've seen in your field, whether that be related to the projects that you've worked on or overall?
Yeah, so in my field, well, if you see technology in general, AI is the big thing that's evolving. So artificial intelligence and then automation is one thing that's coming up, and cybersecurity is also coming up because a lot of projects and services need to be protected, and cloud infrastructure is also there, right? So ability to host your products and services online, AWS is one. So I got the cloud practitioner certificate last year to see how these services and resources can be deployed online. So I'm also adapting that cloud framework in my teaching as well. And virtual and augmented reality is another one, especially when it comes to healthcare domain, right? And then training, Air Force Base and all that, like pilots also use virtual reality. And a lot of surgeons also use specifically designed technology to do their surgeries, and you can also project their patients results to the entire world. So we learn that in human computer interaction there. So AI is big thing, cybersecurity is another one, cloud computing and robotic automation, especially for domains where we cannot send real people, right? So robotics will be very beneficial there. So robotics, autonomous systems are another major field. So this is the future technology. That's where we are headed. AI is the big one in there too. Yeah.
No, thank you so much for sharing that, and especially for our viewers and young scientists who are thinking about going into the field but are not sure what are like the most like rapidly growing industries or sections that they can enter. Do you have any, words of advice that you would recommend someone who is interested in your line of work, and what they should do in terms of their career and career journey? I know not everyone has a certain trajectory, but if you could like reflect on yours, and how that landed you in the position that you are right now in computer science and IT.
Advice, like I would recommend mentorship is first one, right? Reach out to your network or your professors who are in charge. So if you are interested, you're welcome to reach out to me as well. I'm happy to be your mentor to advise. So mentorship, and also try to learn a new skill and then get a certification. Right now it is so easy. You have a lot of like LinkedIn Learning is one very good tool where you could learn about anything, and you can get a certificate in that, and then you can add it to your resume. And then it's not easy, so keep in mind the STEM fields are not easy, but if you keep up that grit in you, to so that you can learn anything and adapt. There is a great feature. Like you can definitely be successful in this field. It's a fun field to be in. So you're always learning new technology coming in. I like my field. So there is a job perspective wise, it's good. So if you want to make a lot of money, well, money is crucial for you right now and also for your future. So try to be learner all the time. So don't try to block your mind. Be open minded and be able to willing to learn and adapt yourself to new technology, because technology field, STEM field, it's ever changing. So you should be able. That's one skill that if you wanna keep up in this industry or academia or anywhere, so try to be adaptive in this. Be able to learn in there. So that's the advice. Have some mentorship, and then try to learn a new skill. Be open. LinkedIn Learning is one that you can learn anything if you want, and then go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing those important words of advice. Moving on to like the second section of our interview, which is more on representation of women in STEM and sort of, the work that you've done in terms of the event that you've hosted, and current works and initiatives. Do you have any thoughts on and perspectives on the representation of women in STEM, and minorities in STEM, and how you believe diversity and inclusion impact STEAM innovation?
So diversity is very, very crucial because everyone are different. So it's better to get different perspective from different population group. The more variety you have, the more skills you bring in, and there is more opportunity or different ways to solve a problem. So I believe in STEM field diversity is crucial as well, because you can bring in a different talent, you can expand your talent upon to do the problems solving skills, because everybody are special, everybody has got their own talent and opinions to bring to the table. So if you bring in a lot of diversity in your team, then you can solve problems more efficiently, and then it will be beneficial for a larger community. Addressing social challenges is again a issue here. So as you see, there are a lot of domains in here, right? So you have cybersecurity. There are a lot of problems to solve in the real world. So if you bring in a lot of problems, so you can create an application that will be usable for different population group. So that requires a lot of diversity, because in general, entire world is diverse in nature. So your team, if it is diverse, then you can probably create or solve problems that will be beneficial for entire world. So it is very important that we bring in. It's good for economic growth as well, right? So and there's also global competition. So if you're diverse in nature, it's better for you. And role modeling and mentorship is again a very important role in there. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And
Mhm.
I love that you mentioned that having a diverse and inclusive team allows you to have a broader um, or allows you to design inclusively and have a larger set or audience that you're designing for. I know we're seeing a lot in today's world where we have biased data sets and types that are harming the individuals in society. And so it's important to bring in that diverse team to make sure that we're benefiting everyone. If you're comfortable, do you mind describing any challenges that you faced as a woman in STEM? I know earlier in this interview you mentioned that um, there's a difference in terms of like women in STEM and participation when you were in India versus here in America. So if you would like to touch upon that as well. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
So underrepresentation is you can actually see or you can feel, especially even in the program, well, in the Salem State University that you see. So women are often underrepresented in STEM, like engineering, computer science. You do have underrepresentation here, so kind of isolation. So you have imposter syndrome here. So women may struggle to see themselves. Um, as belonging in a male dominated world. So we want to inspire them, we want to bring in awareness, we want to bring their confidence up to believe in themselves, so that they can believe in themselves, and then they also can feel that they are part of this computing or STEM field, so they can be part of it and make contribution in this domain. It doesn't happen in one day, it doesn't happen in one day. Obviously you need to have a lot of if you bring in women to multiple interdisciplinary, like what you are doing is a great way to like you are interviewing right now, because you know that I'm a woman, and that my story might help another younger woman to believe in themselves, that they can also do what I do, right? So this is one way, or one of many ways that you can encourage younger women to bring in, so that um, we need women in the STEM field, and there are not many. So luckily, our department here at Salem State is pretty diverse in nature. So we have more women than men, which is I'm proud to say. But anyway, so gender bias and stereotype is a thing in the industry or wherever you see. So it does there, but again, people make assumptions about women abilities, that they cannot do this, they can do only these kind of things. Women are not capable of doing these kind of things. So that's not true. So we want to break the barriers by bringing the awareness to the industry people or our leaders, and also women itself in general. They need to be able to believe in themselves, and they can definitely capable of doing it. And then lack of role models and mentorship is another reason why we don't see that many women in the industry field. And work-life balance. So women are given by default, okay, women's supposed to do this, women are supposed to do these kind of jobs, right? So work-life balance might become really hard to manage sometimes. It's challenging for a woman, particularly with long hours, right? Intense workload, inflexible schedules. So the pressure to excel both professionally and personally becomes very challenging. So for me, it is still a challenging, but I'm able to do it because of support of my spouse and my family. So well, I don't have that much family here, so all the credit goes to my spouse who is supporting here. I'm a immigrant, so all my family and extended, most of my family and extended family, including in-laws, are back in India. So we are just a single family here with myself and my spouse and children. So it's not easy to manage. So if I need to go to work, then my husband work need to be sacrificed because I have small babies to take care. So sometimes that comes into your work as well. But if you have a supporting team, supporting supervisor who can understand where you're coming from. So I'm very thankful and grateful for my team and my supervisors who understands that I need to leave at 4 o'clock to pick up my daughter. So then I cannot teach at 8 a.m. classes because I have a family to take care of that. So you need to be, so during the interview itself, you need to let whoever is interviewing you know that these are my expectations, and the leaders and the supervisors or managers should be able to support. They should Awareness should come from there also, right? So it's not just a one-way street. So you are willing to make changes to fit to the schedule, and then your supervisor should also be able to understand your situation. Then only this can be doable. And obviously family from home, um, back home, the support you need to balance work and life, especially as a woman in STEM. So this is stereotype threat is still there, but I believe with a lot of awareness and events like this, we can make improvement. At least we cannot eliminate completely, but at least we can improve upon it. And another challenge here is access to resource and opportunities. They're not given equally for us. So we got to sometimes fight for it. And there is implicit bias also in hiring and promotion that happens. And then hostel, sometimes you do have a harassing environment. Fortunate, I'm not in that environment right now, but you do see these are some of the challenges that you see for women in STEM. Yeah.
Thank you for covering such a broad spectrum of like the challenges that women in STEM face and some of the initiatives, or at least some steps forward that we can make in terms of supporting them. What steps do you think that institutions and organizations can take in terms of creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for women in STEM? I know you
So
touched upon a few of them.
yes, first is bring establish diversity and inclusive initiatives like events, right? So develop and implement formal diversity inclusion initiative to prioritize, equality in STEM, right? And then bring in a lot of committees and task forces who can address these challenges that women face. Promote gender diversity in leadership and provide mentorship and sponsorship programs so that women can excel. Like you can have a senior mentors in the field. Here at Salem State University, we do have a mentorship program for international students, especially women. So if there is an international student here, we can actually volunteer to be their mentor and then throughout their career, so that it helps big time to understand what the challenges there, and then we can give them advice based on our experiences. So that's one. And then offer training and unconscious bias, right? Because people do it implicitly and they're not aware of it. Sometimes these biases are explicit as well. So we need to address that in our workplace. Foster a culture of inclusion. That's one. And then again, address work-life balance also. Ensure access to resources, so industries can do that. And then combat harassment and discrimination with the seminars or again counseling. So Salem State University actually does that one as well. Promote STEM outreach and engagement is another one. And then be accountable, right? So measure progress and accountability when these events have occur. They do occur, but how do we handle them? So there should be accountability with with the diversity aspect of that.
Thank you for sharing all of those steps. Moving on to our second to last question. which is sort of on the line of what you've mentioned a lot, which is in terms of visibility and especially mentorship. How do you think like storytelling and sharing personal experience and giving that guidance can inspire future generations of women in STEM?
So storytelling is very, very crucial as well, I believe. So it gives you inspiration and role modeling, right? And it can also break stereotypes. It can also build confidence and self-efficacy in people, and then creating a sense of belonging. So story is something that everybody can relate to. Storytelling is, very important here. So access to mentorship and support is also needed, and then raising awareness to opportunities is also one thing. And then being able to relate and connect is basically what storytelling does. Inspiration and motivation you can give them with by sharing your own story. Validation and empowerment is also in there. And navigating challenges, people need to know that this is not an easy field. So it's not an easy field to be there, but it's a great field to be there. There will be challenges no matter what field you get into, but how do you navigate through these challenges? Younger people need to understand that there is a resource available, there is a mentorship available, and they are capable of navigating these through challenges. At times it feels that it's overwhelming, but with the support and guidance and their team outreach, they can definitely overcome their challenges. And then building community and support networks is also important. That way when there's a challenge, at least there is a room or a forum or a group of people for whom they can talk to overcome the challenge. At least a listening eye or listening ear, listening person will definitely help. And changing perspective and stereotypes is again, storytelling will help you change your perspective and then break the stereotypes in the STEM area. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And moving on to our last question, which goes to the first part of our interview, and the beginning of your STEM career. What is some guidance that you would offer your younger self when she was thinking about pursuing the career that she's in?
So the first one that I would offer is believe in yourself. Okay. Second one is set clear goals and then believe that you can achieve them. Seek mentorship and support, very, very crucial, because without that, you don't know where to start, where to end, how to navigate these challenges. And then embrace lifelong learning, as I said. So be able to learn, be able to teachable, right? So that you don't believe that you know everything, but you don't. So be able to teach, be able to teachable, right? Be teachable so that you can learn new thing. Develop resilience and grit in you, which is very, very important. And advocate for yourself, which we don't do much. So always advocate for yourself and then build strong networks, right? And stay true to yourself is very, very important, because you cannot lose yourself with the navigating there. And then always remember to celebrate successes, right? We don't do that one as well. And then pay it forward, meaning be able to again teach or assist somebody in your community so that they can learn from you and then move forward. Yes.
Thank you so, so much for being here, Dr. Sreeramareddy. It's been an honor talking to you and for
Wonderful.
all your words of advice. That concludes our interview for today.